Welcome to Burnout-Free Me, your success and well-being podcast. I'm Dr. Amy Grimm, and I am so glad you're here. Let's go from burnout to breakthrough together. Hey everyone, welcome to another special guest episode of Daring DVM. I'm your host, Dr. Amy Grimm, and today I am sitting down with Krisie Stanley, who is a certified holistic nutritionist, and she specializes in gut health, hormone balance, and root cause healing. Krisie has a deep passion for helping others restore their health naturally, and she helps clients uncover and address the underlying gut imbalances contributing to fatigue, digestive issues, hormonal challenges, and more. She is the founder of Restore and Blossom, a virtual holistic nutrition practice where she supports people in achieving vibrant health and lasting transformation through personalized nutrition and lifestyle strategies. She also hosts the Restore and Blossom podcast, where she helps listeners break up with diet culture, build healthier relationships with food, and understand how nutrition works for them. In addition, Krisie provides services at Complete Care and Wellness Counseling, helping individuals navigate illness and recovery. And she collaborates with a local gym to guide clients towards strength, energy, and sustainable body confidence through balanced, personalized approaches. Krisie's mission is to empower others with the knowledge, tools, and encouragement they need to eliminate gut symptoms, reclaim their health, and experience the fullness of life, spirit, soul, and body. I am so excited to have her on as my guest today. So, Krisie Stanley, welcome to Daring DVM.
Thank you so much, Amy. I'm really happy to be here today. Thank you for the opportunity, and I'm excited to be a part of your podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. I feel like when we chatted before this podcast, when we initially met each other, we just had a lot of similar overlap in kind of our experience and stories, and also with the people that we help. So I'm just thrilled to have you on here today. And I would love it if you could share with us, what is it that you do and how did you get to where you are today?
Okay, awesome. I feel the same way too. Absolutely. I was amazed that at all that you do, your work, and thank you so much for all that you do. You're helping so many people, which is great. So I am a holistic nutritionist. I'm based in Canada. I see clients both in person and online. And how did I get into this field? So initially, I started with child nutrition, and years later, I started having gut issues because of my busy lifestyle. I lived in New York. I think I mentioned that to you already in the past. I did live in New York for quite some time, about 13 or 14 years. And I got into the habit of just, I love the rush. I love the adrenaline rush, rushing for the train, rushing for the taxis, everything, working long hours. And that caused a toll on my gut eventually, because I was eating pretty eating schedule was not normal. I was big on breakfast, but I would take long in between meals, sometimes all like 2, 3, 4 o'clock. I've not eaten lunch yet. And that was not good, not realizing it was causing problems for me because again, I didn't know I was running on adrenaline. I had a lot of energy. And so one day I didn't have much energy and then starting to get the bloating and brain fog and all hormonal issues. It wasn't that crazy with the hormonal issues, but my gut it was really, really horrible. The gassiness, the discomfort, it wasn't pleasing. And I realized eventually I had to take some action. I was eating healthy. I was not eating super, super healthy, but I was eating healthy. And I was, I was a health fanatic, working out here and there, always following some kind of fitness trend. And I realized nothing was sticking until I went to, a natural doctor. And they told me about the root cause is your gut. And I'm like, what's going on with my digestion? I didn't know it was, my digestion was affected. So what I realized is that even though I was eating healthy, my body was not absorbing the nutrients because it's not breaking down the foods
Hmm.
effectively. And that was affecting my overall health. And, that's where I realized like brain fog and all these things was happening to me. I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't realize the gut digestion was so, so important. And eventually, years later, I went in to study holistic nutrition at the Institute of Holistic Nutrition in Canada. And I learned so, so much. I do not have one regret about going back to school to study that because I learned so much about the body and also I was helping friends as well. And I wanted to get certified, but I'm happy I actually went into holistic nutrition. Yeah.
Hmm. Wow. So I'm kind of curious, what is the holistic nutrition program like? Could you explain that to people like me who don't really know?
So the holistic nutrition program is all about looking at the individual as a whole and not just the symptoms, not just that what they're diagnosed with, but looking at them as a whole, like their lifestyle, stress levels, energy levels, how their gut work, what kind of foods they eat, the sleep, and everything that has to do with them. There's a number of courses, a number of programs within the course, I should say, like start off with nutrition fundamentals. They also go into herbal preparations for the body to help heal the body. We also recommend certain supplements if needed, herbal supplements if needed as well. Whole meal plans, how to do meal plans, the different diets, what works, what doesn't work, because what works for one person may not work for another person because there's so many different diets. It really goes deep. It really, really, really goes deep as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. So you said you were already working as a nutritionist before you took this program. How did it differ, or like what did it add in relation to your traditional training that you'd already had?
So I did child nutrition and it wasn't as broad. It was really
Hmm.
basic, like trying to get children to eat healthier, trying to get parents to teach their children how to eat healthier and lead a healthier lifestyle for their children, how to get them to get into the kitchen with them. Like, if they do have if they are fortunate to have a garden, get the children involved. Why it's so important to bring the children to the farmers market and when they go to the grocery stores, where to look for the foods instead of going to the aisles, look around like the perimeters of the grocery store
Hmm.
first before they go inside because that could drive a child crazy when they start seeing all the different colors. And yeah, so it was more or less like how to eat for the children, like how to get the children to eat healthier and what to choose, like basically encourage the children to choose the healthier foods and why it's so important, get the children into the
Hmm.
meal preparation. It could just be like stirring a pot or mixing some cookie mix together something, right? So when I went into the holistic side of things, it was broader and it was like it's for everybody. It's not just for children, but it's for everybody. I understood how
Hmm.
hormones work, how foods can work for the body, what foods affect the body in a negative way, the how to build a better relationship with foods, how to work with your body and what you can do, different lifestyle hacks you can implement because we're not perfect. What nutrition for the environment, how can we utilize food in a way that works for us, not just eat food and whatever, but how food is really important for fuel, nourishing the body. That's really one of my main takeaways from school is nourishment for the body. It's not just going on a diet, but nourishment for the body.
Hmm. I love that you bring that up too, because in my work with burnout, I'm often talking about just the basic fundamentals that you need in your life to either prevent burnout or help you recover from it. And
Mhm.
they're very simple things. Like one of them is actually getting out into the sunlight, and that's because we're trying to kickstart that whole cortisol melatonin cycle for the day and set you up for, good sleep and rest. Because if you don't have that, you're going to get burned out. And
Right.
another one of those things is, like adequately nourishing your body, like you said. A lot of us, we eat for fuel. I mean, we need to, but we often don't understand the difference between just like eating to have energy to get through the day versus like what does actual nourishment look like, taking care of your body, being adequately hydrated. I'm curious what kind of tips or advice or, just insight do you have for women who are looking to start nourishing rather than just, I would say, feeding or just, eating to get through the day?
Okay, right. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, so one of the main things I tell people is learn to enjoy the foods that you eat and not learn to enjoy healthy foods, not just, oh, this is what's recommended. I have to do this. Try different foods, right? And you have to know what works for you. What I've realized, there's a ton of women that are not in a good relationship with food. There's food anxiety because they may have like maybe a weight management issue. Maybe they want to lose weight. Maybe they have problems losing weight, or they cannot seem to kick off this last 10 pounds and they blame the food or whatever. So they develop a really bad relationship with food. So learn to have a good relationship with food. Understand the foods that work for you. Know that if you're eating, you want to eat in balance. Your meal's supposed to be in balance. Even your snacks too. You don't want to just be eating a ton of carbs and expect it to be like a balanced meal. No, you want to eat healthy, proteins, lean proteins. You want to eat enough fiber with your foods, healthy fats, right? These are really, really good ways to start off. And again, I mentioned trying new foods, foods you've never tried. Try recipes. There's so many, there are thousands and thousands of recipes available online. Really quick, simple recipes. They have crock pots recipes. You want to try those things. Or how can I enhance my snacks? Instead of just having a carb-rich snack, how can I dress it up with the protein and the healthy fats without overdoing it on my gut? You could add maybe a Greek yogurt. You may not like Greek yogurt. How about an egg on a side? How about some nuts and seeds on a side? With maybe how maybe a slice of chicken. Some people don't like the meat. How about you have it with a healthy protein bar? There are really, really good protein bars out there, clean ingredients. There's so many different ways for you to enjoy the foods that you're eating that will work for your body. Another thing you want to start doing, you want to start chewing your food, taking that time to chew the foods. That will really, it sounds so like weird. I have to chew my foods. Yeah, we have to chew our foods. So I do chew my foods, but do we take our time to chew the foods? This is one thing I had to learn how to chew. Like, I remember the doctor told me, the naturopath doctor told me I have to chew like 30 times. And I'm like, huh? Like you have to chew 30 times. So what I usually tell people is chew until the foods get mushy, then you swallow. Okay, and this will be easy on digestion. This will be easy on yourself, and also remove the distractions. These are so simple ways for you to start off with healthy eating and nourishing your body, ensuring that digestion is functioning well.
Hmm. Yeah, I love what you brought up in the beginning about learning to love your food. Like I think that is so important because as women, we often are exposed to a lot of that diet culture and we're told how we're supposed to look or how much we should weigh and, whether or not we should think of ourselves as valuable or worthy just based on these things. And that does create, like you said, a lot of anxiety. And over time, this level of anxiety, that's going to use up your energy reserves. And that's one way that you can start heading towards burnout. And for me, I used to feel a lot of guilt around eating, like fun foods. For example, like maybe having some pizza or ice cream, and just the anxiety from eating it and thinking to myself, like, oh, this just means that I'm eating bad food or unhealthy food, and then having that negative kind of psychological effect. And really, yeah, maybe ice cream and pizza is not what you want to eat for every single meal every day. And at the same time, like allow yourself to enjoy those things when you do have them. Because
Yeah.
what's the point of even eating that food if you're not going to savor it and taste it and really, get that pleasure from it? Which then ties into the second thing you brought up about chewing your food. Like, yeah, like I've noticed so many times when I am at work, if I have to have like a quick snack or something, how quickly I'm chewing and swallowing. Sometimes I have to take like a sip of water to help the food go down if I haven't
I'm
chewed
guilty of
it.
that. I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, because I'm just in a hurry. And I've really had to work on that because, when we are chewing, I don't know that I necessarily count to 30, but now that I've noticed this more when I'm chewing and I'm really tasting the food and feeling it against like my tongue and the different flavors and the smell, it also helps bring me into the present moment, which a lot of times with this anxiety, our brains are like spinning out of control and thinking about 101 different things all the time. And just, yeah, the simple act of chewing and actually counting the chews and paying attention to your food, like I can see that as a really valuable tool to bring like a micro moment of safety or rest into the day. And yeah, I think I'm gonna try that out.
Yeah,
Actually
try it out
see.
and let me know. When I started it, it was so boring. And I'm like, okay. Then I found out you just chew until it's mushy and then you saw. But it really had me in the moment realizing like, oh wow, I was never taught that. I never knew that's how I was supposed to, eat my food. Like start off with chewing a lot before, especially when the food is good. You just want to just like, chug it down. Or if
Yeah.
you're really hungry, and you're just like, I can't even wait. I'm just gonna what breathe before, no, right? So another thing I usually tell people is like, if you cannot do it for every meal, start off with one meal. It could just be maybe a snack you start off with so you could get into the habit and do it every day. Just stick with that one meal every day or whatever time that works for you because it may not work for somebody who only has a 30-minute break for lunch. And or it depends, but you just want to start off with one meal a day and eventually your body will get a hang of it, right? You mentioned about ice cream and pizza. Of course, I want people to enjoy their foods, right? And there's so much guilt around eating ice cream, eating, oh, that's too much sugar. Yes, we know, but if you're eating something, if you tell yourself, I'm going to enjoy this, right? I'm going to enjoy this little bowl of ice cream. I'm going to enjoy this two slices, three slices of pizza. You want to enjoy it. The moment you have negative thoughts towards it, it's going to cause problems for us, right? So I know there's a lot of stuff with diet culture that to put a lot of fear into people, and it's really sad. Even social media, there's a lot of stuff going on. Don't do this. So many rules we have to follow. But
Yeah.
again, we have to kind of debunk that food anxiety thing and learn to enjoy our foods without having guilt and or without feeling bad. I just ate two slices of pizza. I messed up. Okay, why? Okay, you have the two slices of pizza. Why don't you maybe add a salad if you can, or add something healthy to pair with it, so you don't feel so bad. That's how you start off as well. But then you want to tell yourself, I get to eat those two slices of pizza, and I'm going to enjoy it to the fullest.
Yes. Yeah, because I mean, who doesn't enjoy a good slice of pizza? Like lean
Exactly.
into it.
Exactly. I love that. Lean into it. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of Switching gears, since we've been talking a little bit about anxiety and burnout, and I also know that the work you do has to do with chronic stress as well. When I think about the people that I mostly work with, they're usually the typical kind of high achiever. I'm thinking of myself now, like hurriedly eating the food and trying to wash it down.
Uh,
But like these people, they like to set goals, they go after things. They're often working really beyond like a normal energy output. Like they're
mhm,
always pushing themselves, whether that be academically, professionally, personally. They're very
mhm,
driven, disciplined. Like they want to succeed and hit those goals. And a
mhm,
lot of times for these people, it looks like working really hard, staying late, saying yes to extra things. They're holding themselves to these high standards. They're doing like really excellent quality work, and it's often at the cost of their well-being because they're staying in that sort of hyperactivated, sympathetically dominant stress state all the time. They're
mhm.
also probably doing things like, grabbing snacks that may not be the best choice for the moment, or maybe they're not even enjoying them and they're not being present, or they're just skipping meals. How you mentioned when you would only, realize that you haven't eaten till 3, 4 in the afternoon. Like, that's such a common thing. And when I'm thinking about these high achievers and the levels of chronic stress that I see in your experience, like, how does that impact gut health? And what do you see on your side of this kind of conundrum?
Oh boy, this is one of my favorite topics, stress, and I'm getting more and more interested in it because stress is so like causing so much damage, the chronic stress. And the thing is, stress shifts our bodies into fight or flight mode. And that causes a shutdown in digestion and also gut motility. It also lowers the stomach acid, the hydrochloric acid that is needed. It's really, really important to help break down the foods and prepare, also to break down protein as well. Stress also reduces the enzyme output, that enzyme that are needed to break down the foods as well, and it disrupts the gut microbiome as well. So I usually say the higher the stress, the lower the digestion, because it's the moment there's high stress there, digestion is not going to perform. It's not going to be strong enough for our bodies. So over time, that leads to leaky gut, bloating, gassiness, heavy feeling in the stomach, problems going to the bathroom, IBS-like symptoms, and more, right? So when stress is present, the body's to our minds, we're thinking that there's danger. So the body's going to prioritize protecting us. And one of the things the stress does is that it stimulates the adrenals to release cortisol or adrenaline, right? So that the body can cope with the stress that we're experiencing or dealing with right now to try to lower that stress. And long term, that causes even more problems because high cortisol levels in the body triggers signals to the liver to release the glucose that we need for energy, right? And we're thinking the body's thinking, hey, she needs that energy to push through. She needs that energy to run away because, or to fight because she's in that fight or flight mode. And when nothing is happening, when there's no fighting, no fleeing from the scene, historically it was maybe running from a bear or running from a coyote, whatever it was, right? But now our stress levels are, I have to hit a work deadline. I have three phones ringing at the same time. I have my mom, my sick mom at home. I have my kids. I have my so many things, right? Our plates are full, or we have too many hats on, right? We're stuck in traffic. And that's when that constantly happens, long term, it leads to even more problems. And this is where we can the body can get into the habit of not feeling for foods because that's what was happening to me when when I was taking so long to have lunch. Like I said, I was very big on breakfast, so breakfast was never an issue for me. But sometimes all day long, and I would eat like even 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, oh, I fasted today. Not real, but it wasn't. I would wear this badge. Oh yeah, I fasted today. Thinking that it was something that was normal, but it was not normal. Once in a while, it's okay, but when it happens often, it becomes a problem because I'm not getting nutrients. Oh, I'm not getting enough nutrients for the body, and I'm running on adrenaline or cortisol all throughout the day, and maybe the week and weeks go by, months go by, and I'm thinking that it's normal. I might give my body the habit, and I'm getting adapted to that lifestyle, causing more and more problems, and we're not realizing just slowing down a bit can help us focusing on those stress levels and bringing it back down as much as we can. Just it doesn't have to be a long, long deep break. It just be a 5 minute break doing deep breathing, whatever it is, just to help. But high stress means low digestion as much, and we have to be able to fix that.
Yeah, yeah. And that's just so true. I think of all the times where I found myself feeling like I was running on empty, and sometimes it would be after, I'd had my meals for the day, but the pattern was still more of skipping or postponing, and then yeah, feeling hangry. Like I think that definitely contributed more to the levels of stress that I felt. And yeah, then on top of that, like you said, dealing with all of just the daily stressors that we have now, like caregiving in general, plus our jobs, and then feeling like we should be doing things in our personal lives.
Uh,
Yeah, it adds up.
yeah, and all
Oh,
the pressures that it comes with, and now we have eat this. This is the superfood. This diet works. This we have so many. We are bombarded with
yeah.
so much information. Too much.
Yeah, yeah, and it just becomes kind of, yeah, overwhelming. And then even just when things become overwhelming, that also triggers our fight, flight, or freeze. So it's like you're just stuck in this cycle where you keep triggering that response over and over. And then we
Yeah.
get the stress and we start getting exhausted and tired and burning out. And the one thing you'd mentioned earlier was brain fog. Like, yeah, like I see that very commonly, especially in the veterinarians I work with. Like, they feel like their brains just don't work anymore. And they're like, I learned all this stuff in school, but poof, it's all
Wow. Yeah.
gone.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. In your experience, like, is there a link between like the health of our gut and those kinds of more cognitive symptoms like the brain fog or that the chronic tiredness that you feel, like when your body's not tired, but your brain is just piecing out?
So yeah, yeah, there absolutely there is, and there's the gut-brain axis, which is the gut is deeply connected to the brain. About 90% of the serotonin is made in our gut, and when the gut is not functioning well, it definitely signals that there's some level of inflammation in the brain going on, and that triggers brain fog, that triggers so many other things, moodiness as well, or mood swings, I should say, low energy, and we're not getting the signals from the hormones. I don't mean to go through to hormones, but we're not getting those signals from the hormones. That doesn't mean that the hormones are not working. It's just that there's a barrier to the brain because the brain is tired, the brain is inflamed, right? So therefore, it can cause problems because poor gut health equals mood dysfunction, equals mood swings, equals just brain fog and all these anxiety. I've worked with women and they've suffered from anxiety for years. Once we get to the root cause, which is the gut, they no longer have the anxiety symptoms anymore. And some of them have been on medication for quite some time and they realize they don't need that medication. I'm not trying to rule out anxiety. Anxiety is only a gut issue. It's just that this is one of the ways that people can get anxiety because they're not getting the the foods broken down effectively in the gut and it's causing problems as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that's so interesting because so many of these women that I work with are very self-aware, so they already are implementing good self-care practices and thinking about ways that they can reduce stress in their lives and eating, I would say, healthily. But yeah, like I wonder sometimes, like, are there other things besides what I teach them to manage stress that could help with this? And it sounds like, yeah, maybe looking at diet a little bit more in depth is a place to explore as well.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, diet is one of the places to explore. Also sleep. Are they sleeping well?
Hmm.
If we're not getting enough sleep, then it's going to affect us overall. We need that restorative sleep to help restore our hormones as well. And also another thing that they can implement to help with their gut health is implementing walking, just light walking, walking in nature. It kind of tells the body, okay, I'm taking a break from everything. Just try leaving the phone away. You try leaving the phone at home and just going for a 15, 20-minute walk. I do that sometimes and I feel so free. Sometimes I stay longer and I'm like, oh wow, I didn't realize I was going to go out for a whole hour. Yeah, you want to do it, we get into the habit of doing those things. This is one of the ways I help my body reduce stress, just walking, just a light walk. Movement is really, really important. Deep breathing is another way if the weather doesn't permit you to go outside, just sitting up straight or laying down, getting yourself comfortable, a few deep breaths, about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That will help you so much. Obviously, you want to do it when you do have the time. Make that time to do it when you do have the time instead of scrolling on social media because I'm sure you often have people say I don't have time, right? And then you look at the schedule like, okay, let's look at it right now, right? Let's make the time. Think of okay, instead of going on social media to scroll, and I might be wasting 30 minutes of it's happened to me. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna
Hmm.
go and then I go down the rabbit hole of social media and then scrolling. Oh, I really love that. Let me save this. Let me look at this recipe. One more. This is what I do. I mean, I mean, we're only human. So you want to make that time, be intentional, set alarms on your phone. So it will remind you, have an accountability buddy or work with an expert that will help you along the way to help you achieve your stress reducing goals. It's really, really important. The things that stress is doing, and let's not even go into the long-term diseases that it can the long-term effects of that with the
Yeah.
disease, Crohn's diseases, IBS, all these things you don't want, even autoimmune, right? A lot of people right now are being diagnosed, a lot more people have been diagnosed with autoimmune diseases, and it's really, really scary. And
Mhm.
one of the main causes is stress. Stress is a major factor. So just doing the deep breathing exercises will help. A few deep breaths before your meals, about a minute or two. Just take that time, pause, right? And have that moment with just yourself. Just think, I'm just gonna do that for myself. Basically, just go back to back to the basics. Simple, easy ways, cost effective. You don't even have to spend money on it. Very, very simple. Try doing tummy massages. Just at night, just before bed, tummy massages. That will help a lot. A little lemon water in the morning, and a pinch of sea salt. That will help a lot. First thing in the morning, you want to hydrate with some lemon water and sea salt that will help stimulate the liver, also help stimulate the digestion, the body for digestion as well. Yeah. Very, very simple. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I love like it's always simple and practical, yet for some reason we seem to make it more complicated than it
I
needs
know,
to
right?
be.
Absolutely.
Oh. Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking now of like the busy individual who is someone that just doesn't have a lot of time, maybe for meal prep, or, you mentioned earlier about there's tons of different recipes out there. But sometimes for someone who's already in burnout, it can be overwhelming to even think about, okay, like what do I want to cook or where am I going to find a recipe and all of that. Do you have any sort of habits or go-to recommendations or places that are just like an easy place to start for somebody who maybe doesn't have like a lot of time, but would at least like to start incorporating more healthy meal prepping into their life?
Yeah, sure. So I usually say keep it simple, simple, simple. Simplicity is key. Just keep it as simple as possible, and that will help you. You don't have to go make gourmet meals or anything like that, right? And again, there are different recipes out there. 15 minutes, 10 minutes recipes out there, even 5-minute smoothies out there, right? You do want to plan ahead. You want to ensure that you have the ingredients so you don't get that doesn't frustrate you. So I would recommend a meal plan. Try meal plan, right? Try meal planning, right? That will help you. At least you know you have your grocery list. You don't have to worry about, oh, how much, what do I have to get? What do I have to get? What do I have to get? Once you have a meal plan, you have your grocery list along with the meal plan. You just check out everything that you already have in your pantry and in your refrigerator. Then you take the rest to the grocery store, you get it. Um, and again, everything is being simplified for us. Everything is being easier for us. We have Instacart. There's the grocery delivery as well. Everything is being easy for us, right? So you do again your meals, protein, healthy fats, fiber. You do want to ensure that simple as possible. What are you looking for with the protein, lean proteins? Your chicken breast. You may not like chicken breast. How about your beef, if you like red meat, fish, shrimp, all the like the salmon, the whitefish. You have eggs, Greek yogurt. Think of, just think simple things. The plain Greek yogurt, you could dress it up with your berries and a little bit of seeds, whether it's chia seeds, hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds, I love pumpkin seeds. I eat it almost every single day. It's really nutritious. The seeds are full of nutrients. Flax seeds, they're full of nutrients. They tiny, and I always usually say they're mighty. Because they are high in nutrients. They are high in omega-3s, the B vitamins, iron, phosphorus, calcium. They're so high in those nutrients that we need. Magnesium, especially. This is why I like pumpkin seeds every day. Think smoothie recipes that will work for you when you do create the smoothie. You don't have to put a bunch of stuff in your smoothies. You just need your base, whether it's milk and yogurt or just milk. Some protein powder if you do like protein powder, but you do want to have protein in there. So if you don't like protein powder, just try to use some maybe hemp seeds, lots of protein in the hemp seeds, or Greek yogurt as well, because high protein. If it's a skyr yogurt or the skyr yogurt, SKYR, the Icelandic yogurt, this is really good because it has the healthy fats in there already. And you could add spinach in there, maybe one banana or your berries, and that's all you need. You don't need a lot of stuff. And then you blend everything together. You have your smoothie, right? You do want to chew a little bit when you're doing your smoothie because you want to activate the enzymes in your digestion. Because,
Okay.
some people drink all the time. This is what was happening to me because I was just a smoothie girl. And I learned that I had to chew my smoothie a little bit before I swallow. It's just it's just crazy with how the body's so complex, and it's just crazy how it, just little hacks we could put in, implement every single day that will help us. You also want to hydrate well. Ensure that you're drinking enough water throughout the day. But have snacks, simple snacks available, like an apple and a handful of almonds, or um, or some. I love the Mary's Gone crackers. These are really good with some
Mhm.
hummus on it, like about a quarter cup of hummus on the side. It's just so simple. You could have some trail mix with your berries on the side, or a small tub of Greek yogurt, or even maybe about a half a cup of cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is a big thing right now. Some people love it, some people hate it. There's no in between. But
Mhm.
these are, there's so many different options out there. You could have the beef jerky. They're really healthy options of the beef jerky with some carrots on the side. You could have that. That's one of my favorite snacks. I have it like, simple. My carrots already cut up, or even maybe celery. And all I do is just grab and go. So you want to simplify it as much as possible. If you feel like you're not motivated to do those things, maybe there's a deeper problem. But start off with just simplifying, just drinking water first thing in the morning, having water throughout the day. You don't want to be fueling on coffee all throughout the day. I'm not trying to demonize coffee, but again, you don't hydrate before coffee as much as possible. So that will not cause problems on your hormones. They're different. There's the the meal replacement. Oh my gosh, the meal replacement shakes, which are really, really good as well. They're full of vitamins and nutrients and minerals in there. So have those, right? Explore. If you feel like you don't have any time, there are companies out there like HelloFresh. I mean, I'm not trying to advertise any one of them, but HelloFresh, there's Inspired Go. There are so many different companies that prep your meal and deliver it to your house. So you can, you can, some of them have really great prices as well. So you can explore those things. You can go to the some of the grocery stores or even your farmer's market. They already have the rotisserie chicken available, or and you could just chop it up and have your salads ready, and all you do is just grab and go. You could also use the crock pot if you like crock pots, or you just throw everything in there and leave it to cook for there's so many hours, and all you do is just open up the pot. Right? There's so many different things you can do. So you definitely want to try at least one of them, and it will help. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you. Like, it's always amazing to hear how many options there are. And I think sometimes when you're already feeling stressed, it's hard to think of things that could be options. A lot of times our brain just defaults to doing the same thing over and over again.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
yeah, I think that was a really good rundown of all the different types of things. I like that you brought up the meal like prep and delivery services too, because sometimes, yeah, it might be more expensive than buying the groceries yourself, but
Mhm.
a lot of times it comes down to the discussion of also how much is your time worth, because you have to think of you're paying yourself to do that work, and is it worth it to do that, or maybe is it worth it to pay somebody else to do that work for you? Because a lot of times our time is one of our most valuable assets. So,
Exactly.
yeah, like there's a lot of options for people who want to start exploring and doing things. And at the same time, if it feels overwhelming, work with someone who can help you navigate all of
Yes.
that. Yeah, and
Yes.
simplify it.
Exactly. And it's so important. I love that you mentioned that to work with someone that could help you, because we already have so much information at the tip of our fingers, right? But it's not great all the time. Maybe for some it might work, but I don't recommend it, because some of the stuff you see out there, and the worst thing, I don't know if you've ever had clients come to you, oh, I tried this and I tried that, and then they've tried it for so long on their own. And if they had just gone to
Mhm.
somebody like an expert in the first place, they wouldn't be where they are today. And now you have to like, okay, let's go with, you really have to go deep with them, right? So
Mhm.
it's a very dangerous thing to just go on social media or go online, Google it, and I'm just going to figure it out. And the worst thing right now we have, I'm not, again, I'm not against it because it's helpful for many, many people, AI. People are just going on AI and then just do this for me, and then but this is it's not, there's no human connection there. And again,
Mhm.
are we sure we're doing what's right for our bodies, right? It's easy to just do something like that, but it's better if we go to somebody who can help you and support you along the way and hold you accountable. And also, get to discuss your challenges with them. You get to celebrate your wins. You get to see the milestones, and again, you get to learn your body a lot more, because when I also work with a nutritionist as well for my health. So I'm not just, oh, I'm on my own. I
Mhm.
I've started my strength training. I'm not doing all that on my own. I'm actually working with a person and it's really helpful. When we look at it, it's like, yeah, it's a lot of money, but it's so much better when we invest on our health, because we get so much, so much more back.
Mhm.
Our investment. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I love that you said you work with your own nutritionist because I feel the same way about coaches. Like good coaches invest in themselves and they work with their own coach too. Like sometimes you can't see your own issues, right? You need help with that, and there's nothing wrong with it. And yeah, like I do strength training as well, and I can't tell you the number of times I've hired like a personal trainer or someone to help me with that because yeah, I could probably figure it out, but it's going to save me so much time and effort if somebody's there to
Yeah.
just guide me.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah,
true.
I'm kind of thinking like as we're sort of wrapping up here. We've talked a lot about the gut and burnout, and a lot of these things they can also overlap with medical issues too.
Hmm.
Um, how can somebody tell the difference between, if they're having maybe some kind of digestive issue that's due to nutrition or burnout, or maybe if there's some other kind of underlying medical disease, or, how do you kind of parse through that to make sure that we're not just missing something that could be treatable or solvable?
Okay, that's a good question. Usually I say when you're not sure about something, I always usually check the gut first, no matter what, just to rule that out. Because again, most diseases start in the gut, so we definitely want to rule that out first to ensure that digestion is functioning well. And if when that is ruled out, if there's any underlying issues, it could be hormonal imbalances, it could be other like issues like diabetes, autoimmune. They're stuck in their weight loss, insulin resistance, PMS, so many different things, or low thyroidism, that can be a problem as well. I usually say there is always a connection with the gut in most cases, but I love to rule that out first, and then work towards healing their body in that area. For example, if it's hormonal imbalances, let's say, for example, insulin resistance, because insulin is that hormone that helps regulate blood sugar, and many times the person gut is fine, but hey, we need to understand that insulin, we need to keep it at bay. So let's help you reverse that insulin resistance. Again, it goes back to how we eat. We don't want to overdo it on carbs. We don't want to be skipping meals. Again, although especially breakfast, right? Although I'm guilty of the skipping meals part, but we don't want to be doing that, especially. And even when I work with clients, sometimes when they just come, they will tell me, "Oh, I wanted to go on a detox," and sometimes they don't understand what a detox is, right? There might also be parasitic issues going on.
Hmm.
And we want to take care of these things as well to ensure that gut microbiome is good. So let's get back to, sorry, I just sidetracked a little, but let's get back to insulin resistance. So with insulin resistance, that's a hormonal problem already, because insulin is being released in high amounts and we need to keep it down. So when we don't eat enough calories in one sitting, or we eliminate all carbs, or we work out on an empty stomach, this is causing an imbalance already, right? I usually tell clients, try not to stay too long, like more than 5 hours or 4.5 hours in between meals, especially when there's insulin resistance going on there. Now, there's fasting, that's a whole different thing, and I'm not going to go into that today, but there is intermittent fasting, which is okay. But I'm talking about for us women who are unintentionally skipping meals and they don't feel like eating breakfast, that can cause a problem, especially if there's low energy levels going on. They just don't know what's going on. They go to their blood work and they're like, why am I insulin resistant? Why am I sugar high? But when you look at the way they eat, they're not eating enough. And that's causing problems. Again, that causes problems on our thyroid because when we're not eating enough calories, our thyroid is struggling. And again, if the thyroid is struggling, the hormones are not being produced effectively or enough throughout the body. And it's affecting other different hormones because when one hormone is out of balance, whether it's too much or too little, is going to affect all the other hormones eventually. So we definitely want to be careful with that. But my first go-to is check the gut first and then rule out all the others after. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that just so beautifully sums up the holistic approach to wellness, right? The importance of, having somebody to help you figure out what's going on, the importance of having a good, doctor or physician on your team who can help you rule out other diseases, somebody who can help you with your mental health. Like, we're all working together collaboratively for the same goal, right? It's like
Right.
you want different people on your team and to not just necessarily push aside, any one thing because you don't think it matters. Because
Sure.
honestly, it's so interrelated.
Yeah, yeah. And when we look at everything, if I find something deeper is going on and I can't help, I look for another practitioner. Hey, can you help this person? For example, I'm not big I don't specialize in acne, and some of my clients do come with other issues, but there's acne there as well. And I'm not like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. No, I send them to another practitioner that I know that is really good with acne or even like I have a really, really good colleague. She's good with the gut-brain connection. I usually recommend my clients so when there's a lot of gut-brain issues going on. Yeah, as well. Yeah. So I usually tell people, don't be scared to say I don't know. I'm not scared to say I don't know, because if I knew it all, I would not be seen doctor. I would not be seeing my naturopath doctor or my nutritionist. Like you said, like it's always good to have people keep you accountable as well and to work with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Krisie, for coming on today and sharing all of your knowledge and wisdom with us. Um,
You for
If
having
somebody
me.
would like to find out more about you, learn more about their work, where can they reach out or how can they get in contact with you?
So you can message me at hello@restoreandblossom.com. You can email me on there. You can also follow me on Instagram, Restore and Blossom. And you can also book a free 30-minute nutrition consult with me at bit.ly/Krisie restoreandblossom.com. I will also be sharing the links with you as well, Dr. Amy.
Yes, I'll make sure to include those all in the show notes for anybody who's interested.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. So, once again, thank you for being here. I loved hearing your perspective and everything that you shared. For everybody listening, all of those links will be in the show notes so you can find out more about Krisie Stanley and the work that she does. And until next week, everybody, stay healthy and dare to dream.